All right, guys, this is the CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting here with Marv and with Mike Molyneux, per usual. So, there's been a lot of talk with what's been happening in the nation over the past couple of weeks with the protests, with the flag, with kneeling for the national anthem pregame. Obviously, a lot of talk has been coming up again about Colin Kaepernick. A lot of people want Colin Kaepernick back in the NFL, which, I mean, hey, Patriots, get some depth, baby. Add some depth to that roster. Bring him in. But that's not the main point of the conversation today. The main point is kneeling. And this time around, so obviously you remember 2016, it was a very contentious conversation. Is it disrespectful to the military? Is it not disrespectful to the military with Colin Kaepernick kneeling and with several other players joining in? But now all players joined in. This time around, there are a lot of other players and coaches who are coming out and saying that, yeah, we are going to kneel alongside our teammates, and this is why, and it's not disrespectful. And it seems like there are a lot more, I guess you want to say, NFL personalities coming out now and standing alongside everybody who does plan on kneeling for the upcoming 2020 season. So, guys, the question is there, why this time are there more people, personalities, coaches, players coming out and saying that, yeah, we're going to kneel right alongside our teammates, our players? Why is that this time? Mike, let's start with you. What do you think?
First and foremost, let me say this. To anybody out there, I don't care, player, coach, fan, whoever, who still looks at sports and we're talking the NFL here and Colin Kaepernick and kneeling. To anybody who still looks at that and thinks that he's disrespecting the flag, I know we've talked about this before on this podcast, on other podcasts, but open up your mind because you're still lost in the sauce and still haven't done your due diligence in getting understanding on what kneeling during the national anthem is all about. Let me put that out there first and foremost. Second of all, I commend players, coaches, whoever out there who are coming out saying, they want to kneel to, or even if they haven't came out and said they want to kneel to, at least they're coming out saying that, they finally have an understanding of what it's about. There's people out there who just didn't want to open their mind to really understanding why this man, Colin Kaepernick, began kneeling in the first place. They just said, it's the national anthem, they're presenting the flag, he's kneeling, and it's wrong, wrong, wrong. They never really listened to the man and his message as to why he's doing it. Now you fast forward here to 2020 with everything going on, it's again, like we said on multiple platforms, the conversation has grown tremendously all over the place. And thankfully, more people are starting to really take the time to learn and understand and process what it means to kneel during the national anthem. Again, nothing to do with being disrespectful to the flag, nothing to being disrespectful to the armed forces and people who fought and lost their lives. Has nothing to do with that. The current climate of this country is the police brutality and the social injustices taking place. That's why the kneeling's happening. So for the people who are finally opening their eyes and willing to understand and learn about what's going on in the world, in the country that they live in, and are willing to either say they understand the kneeling or willing to say, hey, I'm going to kneel too because I understand more now, I commend them. It's all about learning and gathering more information before you just spew stuff out there and say, oh, this is right, this is wrong. Sometimes with certain things, you just got to take the time to process and analyze what it is and what it's all about, and then you make a comment or say how you feel. So, shout out again, and I commend everybody who wants to go this route and kneel, because they understand where Kaepernick was coming from for sure.
So just to name a couple of the people who have mentioned it, who have been written about, who've tweeted about it, who have posted on Instagram about it, we've got J.J. Watt, we've got Bill O'Brien. J.J. Watt's a big one too, because that man is a superstar in this league, and especially a lot of people, like Houston Texans fans, love J.J. Watt. So having him come out for this is massive. And then you've got Bill O'Brien, obviously still Houston Texans. And Baker Mayfield, too. J.J. Watt on Twitter, somebody tweeted at him, pretty sure you won't see at J.J. Watt taking a knee, and then along with 3 American flag emojis. And he responded, A, don't speak for me. B, if you still think it's about disrespecting the flag or our military, you clearly haven't been listening. And then Baker Mayfield, too. Somebody tweeted at Baker Mayfield basically asking him to say that he's not going to kneel. And then he responded, pull your head out. I absolutely am. And then he posted several other things in his Instagram story regarding it. So, Marv, what do you think here? Why are there so many more personalities in the NFL coming out and saying that they will be kneeling and defending their teammates for kneeling for the flag in the upcoming season?
First of all, let's just say what it is. It's not just NFL personnel; it's white NFL personnel. Like we can't just skip that part. That's very important. The white NFL personalities are finally speaking out and saying that they're taking knee, whether it's Bill O'Brien, J.J. Watt's a really interesting one as well. Because, the fan confidently tweeted, right? Oh, what J.J. Watt stands for, we all know what J.J. Watt was. We're not blind. This guy could be a future politician someday. I always say that when I think about J.J. Watt. You can see he's very American. He's the average American. When you think of an American white male, you think of J.J. Watt. And so that's what fans and other people see. Oh, if you are J.J. Watt, you don't believe in the knee because you represent America. And that's what America is, to stand up for the flag. And like Mike said, if you still have that mentality, you're ignorant and you're stupid and you don't want to listen. You don't want to hear what's going on in this world right now. So I commend the J.J. Watts, the Baker Mayfield, the white counterparts finally understanding what's happening here and speaking up on it on this platform. Nick, you ask, why is this happening more? Through these marches, through the protests, through everything that is happening in this world, laws have started to come out. You're seeing more body cameras. You're seeing visual things that are happening to Black people every single day in this country. And people are finally starting to wake up, are finally starting to listen to our stories and listen to what we've been preaching and yelling and screaming for years and years and years to come. That's what's happening in this country. What Colin Kaepernick tried to do, but Colin Kaepernick got silenced. It doesn't help when you had the president at the time come in and use his viewpoint to try to silence what was going on in the NFL and become decisive. And, the owners, they were scared. They didn't want to pick a side, and everything's about fear. And you don't want to misrepresent America. That all needs to end. Players are starting to step up. We spoke about it last week, how they demanded more from Roger Goodell. Players are coming together and understanding that this is a bigger issue than anything anyone can imagine. And if everyone can come together at one viewpoint, understand that we are not going to settle for injustice anymore, then that's why you're seeing the J.J. Watts, the Baker Mayfields, Bill O'Brien, a coach, saying he's going to kneel with his players. That's huge, because other people, other players, other fans that are so ignorant and don't want to see it are going to have to see it. They're going to have to understand it. If they don't want to understand it, then you know what side of the fence you're on. But people are going to see, and the awareness is going to continue. So when people say, what does marching do? Protests, riots, what do these things do? This is what it does. It creates change. It creates awareness. It creates talk for people in bigger platforms to start spreading it as well.
The impact, and like you said, we talked about this last week, and Marv, everything you just said there was perfect. We talked about this last week. The impact that these protests have taken, especially all over social media, it's opened the eyes, and Mike, you said this too. It opened the eyes of a lot of people who before might not have seen why people were kneeling for the flag. And having these white coaches, these white superstar players come out and say, we're going to be kneeling right alongside our teammates is absolutely massive. And hopefully, especially guys like J.J. Watt, he's somebody who might help take somebody, maybe not a lot of people, because a lot of people who are going to be on one side, they're going to be cemented on that side. But it might take some major fans of J.J. Watt and be like, okay, maybe I have to think about this more. So having people like J.J. Watt come out and say something like that is majorly impactful. But overall, it's just the impact of the protests and the social media, the outcry. People are tired. People are angry. People are ready to see change, and we've seen change start to happen. Like you said, Marv, we've seen laws start to change. The impact overall that this has had has just been it's been crazy. It's been like nothing that we've seen before. Obviously, it's not done, and we still have to keep moving forward. But having people come out like this, again, like Bill O'Brien, like J.J. Watt, like Baker Mayfield, is big. Saying that we will be kneeling with our teammates. That is so big. So, guys, anything else with this?
Shout out to Baker Mayfield, too, for coming out and saying, he don't give a damn about any fans that he loses, because It's not about his brand. It's not about his fans and who supports him, who follows him on Twitter or IG. You know, it's much bigger than that. And I hope if there's players out there who maybe feel like, well, maybe I don't want to speak or say anything or kneel because I don't want to hurt my brand or lose fans or supporters, then you still got your mind twisted as well. But shout out to Baker Mayfield throwing that part in there as well.
Right, and there's been so much explanation about how it's not disrespectful to the flag, where at this point, if you still think that, you are trying not to buy into it. You're trying not to believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
You're trying to hold on to something within yourself that you can't express. So look at yourself and look at your privilege and look at your prejudice in the mirror when you say that.
All right. You guys good?
Never good, but we good for the round table right now.
Hey, I'm still, if you guys, whatever else you want to say, I'm here for it.
For this topic, it's settled for me.
All right. CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Again, Nick Qualia, Mike Molino, Marv is on. Guys, we'll be back next week with a new batch of topics to talk about. Follow us on Twitter. I'm sure Garrett's putting it down here right now. Follow us all on Twitter. Guys, again, we'll be back next week. Nick Qualia, Marv is on, Mike Molino. We'll talk to you then, guys. Thanks for watching.